Hey guys, it's Robert. Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a great video. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are curious if Florida is still worth moving to. So specifically for you, we're going to be answering a lot of questions about that, and we're going to jump right into it, so stay tuned. All right, so a lot of people are talking about the state of Florida. A lot of people are moving here. I think we're number one, or we're neck and neck with Texas as far as people moving to the state or inbound migration. And really with everything going on all around the country and here in Florida specifically. Now, we've been getting a lot of reach outs from folks that are asking if it's still a good idea to move to Florida, kind of comparing it to where they're living right now. So I always go back to our initial conversation, whether it was over the phone or a Zoom meeting, to the first question that I asked them, and that is really, why are you moving and why are you considering a move to Florida? Now, there's a lot of reasons why someone would choose a state like Florida as far as weather and things to do and that type of stuff, but nobody picks up and relocates and changes a state, especially if they have family and kids and things like that, without a good reason. And the number one main reason from people that I speak to that are choosing to make this move and they're choosing Florida has to do with some sort of an economic reason. Now, this can be kind of a double-edged sword because things are expensive everywhere. Everybody knows about the inflation and the prices, no matter where you are in the country. So everybody's feeling the prices, and it's expensive everywhere. Florida, specifically South Florida, is a little more extreme, I guess, or you're feeling it a little bit more because being the number one state where people are moving to, things are going up more here than in other areas. But considering the places that a lot of these folks are moving from, a lot of people are reaching out or relocating from California, the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, places like that. It's still cheaper for them to make the move here to Florida. So even though real estate prices here in South Florida are going up faster than they are in other parts of the country, also our property taxes and insurance follow the real estate prices. Your biggest chunk of cost of living is always your housing. It is still cheaper to live here in Florida than these other states. So this is what the people are telling me. Now, another thing is for business owners. Now, a lot of people reaching out that are choosing Florida are telling me that it's almost impossible to run a profitable business in some of these other states that they're moving from. Regulation, taxes, it's just getting impossible to run a business. So Florida has a very, very friendly tax climate when it comes to doing business. Florida is known as a very favorable environment for small and large businesses. In addition to insurance premium tax advantages as well as exemptions for clean energy operations, Florida does not tax limited partnerships or LLCs. There are many industries that are really booming right now in Florida, from businesses that are relocated here. The financial sector is really booming here. The crypto sector, aviation and hospitality have always been big fields here in Florida. Now, the economy in Florida is also booming. So if you're looking for work, there are a lot of job opportunities here in Florida. The only caveat to that, and the only issue, is that the salaries here in Florida are not very good, especially compared to these other states where a lot of these people are moving from. And that's kind of where this catch-22 situation or double-edged sword comes in. Since COVID, a lot of people that have moved here were able to work remotely. So a lot of people were able to move, keep their current job, or if their company was relocating here, they were able to keep that job. Now, a lot of the locals here are not able to compete with those type of workers because they're not getting paid the same amount of money. So that's kind of a problem with the locals here. Now, a lot of these remote jobs are going away since COVID. A lot of employers are requiring their remote workers to at least come back to the office. If not full-time, they're going to have to come back to the office, whatever it is, 2-3 times a week. So you cannot be living in Florida if you got to go into the office a few times if that company is still in, say, New York or California. So the remote work, or the amount of remote work, is not as much as it was back, as it was right after COVID. So that is going away a bit. But, you know, moving here just to get a job in a certain field might be a little bit of an issue because the pay does not compare to some of the salaries in other states. But coming here to start a business is definitely a big draw. And a lot of people that we speak to are doing that. Now, staying on the theme of money and economics, which is really what most people are talking about right now. Everybody is feeling the pinch and feeling the pressure of how expensive everything is. Florida is a very tax-friendly state. Now, this is across the board, guys. So first of all, there's no state income tax in Florida. Now, this alone can save you thousands of dollars per year, where other states charge anywhere from 3 to 9% in state income tax. Now, also in line with why so many people choose Florida to retire, Florida does not tax retirement benefits. So these exemptions include income from part-time work, Social Security income, pension income, and income earned from 401ks and IRAs. Also, as far as property taxes, we have something called a homestead exemption. So if you have a home that is your primary residence, you get an exemption on your property taxes. So you can qualify for up to a $50,000 property tax exemption. Also, the Florida Saver Homes Act limits the annual growth in the assessed value of homesteaded properties up to 3% of the Consumer Price Index CPI, whichever is lowest. Also, Florida does not have an inheritance tax, which is a huge deal. So Florida residents and their heirs do not owe any estate taxes to the states on inherited properties. So this is really, really huge right now with properties appreciating so much in value. Now, aside from all the things that we just spoke to that have to do with economics, definitely a big draw, which was always the case and will always be the case, is just the weather, the outdoor lifestyle that Florida has to offer. Now, some people that have lived in cold climates their whole life have just had it, and they just want to, they just want to be able to live in an area where they can spend more time outside, and they don't just want to be cold in the winters anymore. And that's always going to be a big, huge draw. So year-round great weather, especially in the wintertime. Right now, we're getting into the best weather, which is tourist season, unfortunately, but best weather of the year, wintertime, mid-70s, fantastic weather. We do have hot summers, we do have hurricane season. There are cons of Florida, obviously, but, by and large, beautiful, beautiful weather, tons of activities to enjoy year-round. Obviously this is why people come here on vacation every single year. So that will always be a reason why people will gravitate to a state like Florida when it comes to picking a place to relocate. Now, another reason why people give us they want to move here is they feel like they have more freedom of choice here than some of these other areas they're moving from. I don't like to get into this type of topic, whether you want to call it political or not. You'd be surprised. Florida is a very, very diverse state. The area I live in, Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, is really a blue area. So I don't ever really see people talking politics here. But, if you watch the media, you would think that Florida is this red area, and I just think the media likes to divide people. I think people are more centered than anything, but people that talk to me that are moving here from other states feel like those areas are, there's too many restrictions on their freedoms and things they want to do. So these are the reasons people are giving me. So again, I don't really notice anything happening in this area. People just live their lives. Nobody really bothers anybody. I have not noticed any sort of rallies or protests or anything happening here. People are just cool with each other and everybody lives their life. So that's what I noticed. So there you have it, guys. Is it worth moving to Florida? I guess that's up to you and your personal preference and what you're trying to accomplish. South Florida is a little different than other areas because it is more expensive. There's a lot cheaper areas upper north, Orlando, Tampa, and even cheaper than that, other areas where they don't have the amenities and there's not as much to do than, say, South Florida. They are a bit cheaper. So if you have any questions or planning a move to South Florida, I'd love to be your real estate resource. We also have partners throughout the state, so we can get you hooked up with people up in those areas. If you have any questions, reach out anytime. My information is down below, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Take care.